can start about the New Year's resolution. Welcome back. No, every time.
Hi, welcome back to Pack Medical Group by InnovaCare Health Podcast. We're so glad that you could join us, and you know that with the holidays and everything, people love to start New Year's resolutions. And I wanted to ask Dr. Pack, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I always have a New Year's resolution.
Yeah?
Yeah. For me, it's every single year. What drives me, the two favorite things I love to do is to learn and to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So my New Year's resolution is always something about either to learn or to teach, or learn how to teach better. So this year, I want to spend a lot of time on what's happening with AI. So I'm actually going to take
Boy, that's a big topic.
I know, a significant course in AI and how I can leverage AI for healthcare and better serve my patients. So I'm really excited about that. But I think, this time of the year, a lot of patients want to think about different New Year's resolutions. It's always the same kind of thing to me. And so I have some funny stories about that. But, obviously the first one is usually about something to do with their weight. And the second one's always something about activity level or working out. Those are the two big ones, right? And of course, we all know that the gym membership goes up every January.
Absolutely.
Then it crashes by
In
April.
3 weeks, even like after 3 weeks. My girlfriends and I, we were constant workaholics and everything. But in January, that boost and that boom of it, we always say, "Oh, those are the 3 weekers coming in,"
Exactly.
and then they'll be gone.
Yeah, and so it's kind of funny how that happens. So the patients that I have that really do well with New Year's resolutions, and the patients that don't do really well, I find very consistent similarities and differences. Patients that really do well, it's not just the mind over matter, but it's all about planning. So what that means is they have a very specific goal with timelines. Mrs. H, for example, she said that she's always wanted to do this rock and roll marathon in San Diego. Okay,
Interesting.
yeah, she always had a vision of doing that. And everyone said, "Man, you're too old to do You're too old to do a marathon." And she got inspiration. She said she saw a story on, I think, one of the news channels of a 90-something-year-old lady did her marathon. She's like, 90? She said, "I have 30 years on her. God dang it, man. I should be able to do that." And so she actually did a lot of research on my age. She did a great job of doing thorough research, given she plugged in everything: her age, her height, her weight, what her activity level was, and she actually created a path of what she needs to do before she can run a marathon. So the key there is, if you have a very specific goal in mind with timelines, those are the people that usually actually are much more successful. And the opposite is true. It's like, well, it's New Year's, and so I really want to do something, and so they don't have a definitive game plan, but then, they see an ad on TV that, if you join Fitness Anywhere, whatever, it's only $10 a month. So it's only $10, and so they do that. The chance of them succeeding is nil. You know what I mean? So it's all about the emotional and mental commitment in the beginning. And it's like anything else. If you want to succeed at something, if you're hyper focused and you set a plan with timelines, that's also really, really important. I can't emphasize it enough. I learned from my patients that if you don't set specific goals with timelines, the chance of you succeeding diminishes. And so those are the things that I really highly encourage. If you're committed to the process and you say, I really want to change, whatever it is that you want, your New Year's resolution, then you need to spend some time really designing it, right? Doing some research, asking people, find people who've done it and successful, and say, what made it successful for you? What were your barriers that I anticipate I'm going to get to? Like Mrs. H, who was, planning for a marathon, and one of the people told him that you got to you got to make sure your footwear is perfect, because they always tell you to when you run. I don't know if you know that. for marathon runners, they tell you, especially if you're not a professional, first time, you have to wear shoes that are at least 1 inch bigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because during the marathon, your feet after mile 13 start swelling.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things that you have to learn about, do research. You can't just, and so.
On the fly, you can't
Exactly,
just go, oh, this
yeah.
is going to be my New Year's resolution.
Exactly.
No, plan it out. Make sure it's a passion that you want to do,
Yeah.
that it interests you, correct? And then execute. I know that you've always been so big at your doc talks of working out.
Yep.
That how important it is for people of all ages,
Yeah.
but especially when you hit the age of 50, to really sit here and you didn't care if it was just a 5-pound barbell.
Yep.
Or if it was just a brisk walk in the morning
Yeah.
or something, but just anything to make your muscles or your joints moving. So how is that so important for the senior citizens?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, we always have jokes and rhymes like motion is lotion, things that go in motions, stay in motion, and so it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very clear, you can do your own research, it's night and day, people who age well versus who don't. One of the primary factors is sedentary lifestyle versus an active lifestyle. And I always tell people, I'm not telling you that you need to run a marathon like Mrs. H. I'm not, don't say, Dr. Paxton, I need to get prepared for a marathon and don't do, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if you really want to change your life for the better, then you need to make the commitment to be better. Mm-hmm. And the way to do that is put some energy and effort into it, meaning that you have to do research, talk to people who've already done it, have a very concise plan with timelines. That's important. And the other thing is just get started. Mm-hmm. Don't say, I'll do this tomorrow, because the reality is tomorrow might never happen. So it's always about today. And so I always tell patients, don't wait for tomorrow, start today.
Plus, it's a great way to meet people.
Exactly.
Get out there and be social. We're not in COVID anymore, so to be out at the gym, I mean, if you're going to do it by yourself and do a brisk walk in the morning, take your dog. Or if you don't have a dog, I mean, just throw in some iPods or AirPods and listen to some music that you enjoy, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's super simple to be able to do. No, I say that, but I need to reap what do what I'm saying, So I try my hardest. It's hard with schedules and everything going on in your life, but it's very doable.
Yeah, it's interesting how you talk about schedules because, again, I learn from our patients. The patients that are really successful when they're set goals versus patients who don't, and they're very specific in their intent. And you mentioned about schedules, right? And really, schedules have really almost no meaning to it because it's all about setting priorities. If you set X, Y, Z as your goal, and that's a priority for you, say, like Mrs. H, she said that she's going to run that San Diego rock and roll marathon, right? And so for her, as soon as she set that a priority, everything kind of fit. So like, let's say she has a very specific timeline with her workouts, right? So like 8 to 9, okay, I'm gonna start doing my 3-mile runs and then extend it, right? So as soon as she set that in her stone in her mind, whatever happens in the schedule, like a friend calls and say, hey, let's go have breakfast at so-and-so, right? And for her, since it was a priority, she said, no, can we reschedule it for another time? So whenever I hear people about scheduling conflicts, that really doesn't apply. It's about setting priorities. If it's important enough for you, then you will make the time to get that done.
So basically you're telling me that I make excuses.
Exactly, exactly. You are. It's not a priority.
I'm making an excuse. It's not a priority.
Exactly.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
That's exactly right.
But you're
in
right.
a nice way, yes.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. If you want to do something, no matter what it is, you will always find time to.
Yeah, and you and I both know that. If someone is a priority in your life, and you know that with your friends and whatever, and no matter what the existential circumstances and how crowded it is, if it's a dear friend or someone very, very important in your life, and they call you for whatever, you will basically drop everything, right, in your schedule to make sure that you spend time with them. And so, again, that amplifies what I'm saying. It's all about priorities. if you make your goal and yourself a priority, okay, then everything else kind of falls into place. And what I notice a lot, and I get that from my patients too, is I would say majority of the people, they exclude themselves as a priority. They do. And so they take their kids or their friends or whatever, and everyone else is a priority except for themselves.
They do everything
Yeah.
for everybody else except for themselves.
Exactly.
I
And which is a
guess.
huge,
Yes.
huge mistake. Okay? And a great example, and I talk to this all the time about caregivers, you know, you have, you know, and so let's say you're basically became a nurse with a purse, and you have, and your loved one, your spouse has got multiple chronic conditions, they're sick, they're going to every specialist known to mankind, heart doctor, lung doctor, everything else. And so you're running around doing everything for this person, but then you left you're left empty. You're totally empty. And what I tell people is, I want you to visualize this. Okay, you are the lifeboat, right? And your husband or your significant other is in the lifeboat, and you're the lifeboat. So what happens if the lifeboat, sinks? What's going to happen to your significant other, your spouse? They sink. They drown.
You're gonna drown.
Right. So if you really value that caregiver model that you need to be around for your husband or your wife, I tell them all the time, number one thing is you better look in the mirror and make sure that you are solid. Because if you sink, all those ropes that are attached to you, they're drowning with you. Exactly. And then whenever, it's all about delivering the right message. It's interesting, when I deliver it that way and have them visualize, they get it.
Yeah.
They get it. They understand that, look, I understand that what I think is doing right, but if I don't take care of myself, then I'm actually doing harm to those that I love. And so that's important as you kind of go along. So, that's really important as you go along. You have to look at yourself and make yourself a priority.
So, yes, I was just going to say that to kind of wrap it up. So, number one takeaway is always make yourself a priority. If something you're passionate about and you want to do, you make a plan for it. You make that your New Year's resolution. We're making it a New Year's resolution. Well, I want to come back after the New Year's with a resolution that we've come up. You come up with something for yourself. I come up with something for myself. Angie, you come up with something for yourself. Yeah. Angie's our wonderful producer here.
Yeah, but again, it's also timelines.
Yes.
Timelines are really important. You need to set goals with timelines.
We'll definitely outline that and then come back after the new year with our resolutions and go from there. So.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good luck with your New Year's resolution.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks
If
for
you
joining
need help.
us today.
Bye.